It is a rivalry as heated as any in the area, but as the saying goes, revenge is a dish best served cold. The Falcons of Briar Woods are the defending NVSHL champions, and to get there, they had to drop the Stonebridge Bulldogs, a program that had lifted the trophy in back-to-back seasons. Those Bulldogs are not used to losing. In fact, that semifinal defeat is their only loss in 35 games, dating back to 2011. It's our game of the week. The Bulldogs and the Falcons. Stonebridge looking for revenge against Briar Woods. They'll do so on a cold sheet of ice on DMVSTREAM.COM. And good evening, everybody, and welcome in to tonight's broadcast. This is our DMVSTREAM.COM Game of the Week, and as you can hear, it is loud here in Ashburn, Virginia. Thank you so much for being with us. Here to tell you the story, I'm Brian Gardner. As I mentioned, both of these teams are the past 3 NVSHL champions, and as they're taking the ice here on the Ashburn, Virginia, Ashburn Iceplex, we take a look at a couple of teams that are 4-0 so far in the season. Last time out for Briar Woods, they faced off against Chantilly, a team that was undefeated at the time. That was 2 weeks ago today. Well, they dispatched of them by a final score of 4-3, a game in which they trailed by a score of 3-1 until 2 shorthanded goals in the same penalty kill late in the second period lifted them into a tied contest in which they ended up winning on a power play goal in the third period. Briar Woods is 4-0. They haven't faced as stiff competition that Stonebridge has. Their last time out was against Oakton, a 13-3 drubbing that came last Sunday here at the Ashburn Ice House. They actually had to stop that game with about 5 minutes left, a bit of a mercy rule in effect. And it is absolutely volume at the max here in Ashburn today. Fans started coming in almost 2 hours before the game started. They filled up the bleachers for about the last 45 minutes. The Ashburn Ice House staff has been turning people away from the bleachers area, making them go stand along the boards, which in my humble opinion, pretty good seat as well. The capacity, they say, is 1,000. If they have gone through their due diligence, I would say there are 1,000 fans here in attendance tonight at the Ashburn Ice House. Last time these two teams met, as I mentioned, was in the semifinals of the playoffs last season. That was a 5-2 Briar Woods victory on their way to a championship. It was a bit of an underdog story, the 5th seed in the NVSHL playoffs going into it. They actually really weren't tested throughout their march to the championship, only giving up 2 goals in each of their games. They won the first round against Nova 6 by a score of 7-2. Briar Woods then knocked off Chantilly 11-2. Semis against Stonebridge was their toughest test, a 5-2 victory, and then 7-2 in the final as they lifted the trophy. The Briar Woods Falcons, their first championship here in the Northern Virginia Scholastic Hockey League. Stonebridge had won the prior 2 NVSHL championships, and as I mentioned in the intro, that loss against the Briar Woods Falcons, their only loss in their last 35 games played, regular season and playoffs, that goes back to 2011. They've actually won 27 consecutive regular season games. That is still active. It was increased against the Chantilly Chargers 2 weeks ago today over at the West Rink. We're here at the East Rink in the Ashburn Ice House. Going into the season, Briar Woods coach Bill Hughes told the Washington Post Jackie Canner that this is the biggest game of the season for both teams. Both Jackie and Bill relayed that to me earlier in the game, earlier before this game, and I would say the atmosphere really would lay credence to that, as this is the loudest that we've seen at any game here on DMVSTREAM.COM this year since we've been broadcasting hockey. So both teams have gone through their warm-ups. Stonebridge to my left is huddled down around their goaltender Marty Trivieri, dressed in their white jerseys with the blue pants, blue letters, blue numbers, and the baby blue trim. And actually, before the game, head coach John Lynch for Stonebridge told me that it would be Trivieri getting the start, but instead, it looks like it's going to be Colin McNeils between the pipes. Number 40, he's the backup goalie. Trivieri is their starter. It's an interesting choice to go with the younger McNeils. But he's back there between the pipes. On the other end, for Briar Woods, it's going to be Elliott Shelton. The only real significant losses from those championship team last year were goaltenders. One they lost to the OHL in Canada, and one graduated, but Shelton moved back into the air from Massachusetts. And we are underway here on DMVSTREAM.com. As the puck is controlled by Briar Woods with Romola, he'll send it over to the right wing for Reese. Reese plays it up off the glass, evades a check from the Bulldogs, now turned back over behind the net. Puck chipped back over towards the right wing, but is intercepted and picked up by Kaufman. Kaufman looking over to Luke Giroux, send it onto the attacking zone, but it's tracked down and actually played off the side of the net. It'll be picked up by the Falcons, sent over to the left wing, and charging forward is Briar Woods. Looking for Plumhoff, instead they could not get it there. Tied up on the near side boards with Giroux. Poked away, Leopold chasing, but instead it's going to be Zagate. Coming away with it, he'll dump it in. It hits off of Reinfleisch, the captain for the Stonebridge Bulldog squad. Over to Giroux, up ahead for Leopold. Leopold dump and chase, he'll chase after it. Going back to get it are the Falcons, absorbing a big check, and now it's going to be sent back along once more. Van Dusen picks it up, there's a whistle. And we're going to get a draw in the attacking zone for the Stonebridge Bulldogs.